Good evening, dear listener. Settle into the quiet of your night, let the world's clamor fade. Imagine a gentle breeze, warm and dry, whispering across the sands of ancient Giza. The stars above glitter like scattered jewels, and the distant Nile hums its eternal lullaby. You're not here to chase thrills or unravel mysteries. No, you're here to drift into a story, soft and steady, about a life you might not expect, the life of a pyramid builder. It's not the epic tale of pharaohs or gods you've heard before. It's humbler, dustier, and far more human. So, close your eyes, and let's begin. You wake to the faint rustle of life stirring in the workers' village at Giza, just as the sky blushes with dawn. The air smells of baked earth, and the lingering smoke of last night's fires. Your bed is a simple reed mat, thin but familiar, pressed against the mud brick wall of a cramped dormitory. The village hums around you, low voices, the clatter of clay pots, the bleat of a goat tethered nearby. It's not the romantic Egypt of golden statues or chariot races. It's a gritty, living place, where sweat and stone define the days. You stretch, your muscles already aching from yesterday's labor, and pull on a linen kilt, its edges frayed but clean. The morning is cool, but you know the sun will soon turn the plateau into a furnace. You step outside, sandals slapping against the packed dirt. The village sprawls across the desert, a maze of low houses and workshops. Home to thousands like you, men and women drawn from villages along the Nile to build a monument for a god-king. This is no slave camp, despite what you might have imagined. The workers here are paid, fed, and housed, their labor a duty to the pharaoh and the gods. You're not chained, but you're not free either. The work is your life, at least for now. You glance toward the horizon, where the half-built pyramid of Khufu looms, its limestone casing catching the first rays of sunlight. It's a sight that still steals your breath, even after months here. Your day begins with a walk to the communal bakery, where the air is thick with the yeasty tang of dough. Women knead flour and water into flat rounds, their hands moving with practiced grace. You collect your ration, 2 loaves of dense emmer bread, slightly gritty but warm. A jug of weak beer sloshes in your hand, its sour bite a strange comfort. This is no feast, but it's enough to keep you going. You sit on a low stone, chewing slowly, watching the village come alive. A child darts past, chasing a stray dog, and you smile faintly. Life here isn't just work. It's a community, fragile but real. The historical truth anchoring this moment is the discovery of the workers' village itself, unearthed by archaeologists in the 1990s near the Giza pyramids. Far from the whip-driven slaves of old Hollywood tales, these workers lived in organized settlements, with bakeries, breweries, and even medical facilities. Their bones, found in nearby cemeteries, show signs of heavy labor but also of care, broken limbs carefully set, diets rich enough to sustain them. You're part of this system, a cog in a machine that's both brutal and strangely nurturing. The pharaoh's scribes record every loaf, every jug, ensuring no one starves. It's not kindness, it's logistics. A hungry worker can't haul stone. But let's pause for a quirkier detail. Something to make you tilt your head. Did you know the workers sometimes used a kind of sunscreen? Not the coconut-scented lotion you'd slather on today, but a paste made from, brace yourself, crocodile dung and natron salt. Smear it on, and it might block the sun's rays, though you'd smell like the Nile's less charming depths. You haven't tried it yet, but you've seen older workers swear by it, their skin weathered but intact. It's one of those oddities of life here, where survival demands creativity, even if it stinks. You finish your meal and join the stream of workers heading to the quarry. The overseer's voice cuts through the chatter, sharp but not cruel, assigning tasks. You're on cutting duty today, shaping limestone blocks with copper chisels and stone hammers. The work is relentless, but there's a rhythm to it, almost meditative. Strike, chip, dust coats your throat, and sweat stings your eyes. You pause to sip your beer, its warmth a poor match for the cold water you dream of. A fellow worker mutters about the overseer's love for his pet baboon, a creature that struts around like it owns the quarry. You chuckle softly. Baboon or not, the blocks keep moving. The morning stretches on, and you find a strange peace in the monotony. The pyramid grows, stone by stone, a testament to human will. But questions linger, even in this quiet moment. Scholars still debate whether the workers were truly volunteers, driven by faith, or conscripts bound by obligation. Were you here for glory, or because your village chief sent you? The answer feels blurry, like the heat shimmering over the sand. Maybe it's both, duty and devotion, tangled together. As noon approaches, the sun climbs higher, and you wipe your brow, squinting at the pyramid's silhouette. It's not just a tomb, it's a promise of eternity. A bridge between earth and the gods. You're a small part of it, but that's enough for now. The day is young, and there's work to be done. You pick up your chisel, the weight familiar in your hand, and turn back to the stone. Part 2. The sun climbs higher over Giza, its heat pressing against your skin like a heavy hand. You squint, the quarry's limestone dust swirling in the air, coating your lips with a faint, chalky grit. The morning's bread and beer sit heavy in your stomach, but they fuel you as you grip your tools, a copper chisel, its edge dulled from yesterday's work, and a stone hammer that fits your calloused palm like an old friend. You're no stranger to labor, but today, the rhythm of cutting stone feels like a song you can't quite master. Strike, chip, strike. Chip. The sound echoes across the quarry, blending with the grunts and murmurs of 100 other workers. You're here, in the heart of ancient Egypt, building a pyramid not for glory but for survival, for purpose, for something larger than yourself. So settle deeper into this moment, let the world fade, and walk with me through the dust and sweat of your day. You kneel beside a limestone block, its surface rough under your fingers. The quarry is a vast scar in the desert, its edges jagged where stone has been pried free. Your job is to shape this block, to carve it into a perfect rectangle that will fit seamlessly into the pyramid's growing bulk. It's not as simple as it sounds. The chisel bites into the stone, but too hard a strike, and it cracks. Too soft, and you're wasting time. You've seen new workers ruin blocks, their faces flushed with shame as the overseer barks corrections. You're better than that now, though your arms still burn with the effort. The stone resists, stubborn as the desert itself. But you keep at it, sweat trickling down your back, soaking your linen kilt. Around you, the quarry buzzes with activity. Men haul stones on wooden sledges, their voices rising in a low chant to keep time. Others pour water from clay jars, wetting the sand to ease the sledge's path, a trick you've come to admire for its simplicity. This is no chaotic scramble, it's a system, honed over generations. The historical anchor here is the evidence of these hauling techniques, found in tomb reliefs and quarry marks at Giza. Archaeologists have traced the paths of sledges, their tracks faint but enduring, showing how thousands of tons of stone moved without wheels or beasts of burden. You're part of this machine. Your chisel a small but vital piece of a puzzle that will outlast you by millennia. But let's linger on something stranger, a detail that might make you raise an eyebrow. Your tools, simple as they are, aren't always reliable. Copper chisels blunt quickly, and you've heard whispers of workers using, don't laugh, meteorite iron for special tasks. Yes, iron from the sky. Rare and sacred, hammered into blades for cutting the hardest granite. It's not common, you've never held one yourself, but the older workers speak of it with a mix of awe and envy. You stick to your copper though, and dream of a day when the scribes might trust you with something so divine. For now, the stone is your world, and it demands your focus. You pause to wipe your brow, glancing at the overseer perched on a low ridge. His kilt is cleaner than yours, his staff a symbol of authority. He's not cruel, but his eyes miss nothing. You've learned to work under that gaze, to keep your strikes steady. A worker nearby mutters a joke about the overseer's baboon, the one that follows him like a shadow. Thinks it's the real boss, he says, and you stifle a chuckle. It's a small rebellion, this quiet humor, but it keeps you sane. Another worker joins in, claiming the baboon once stole his bread. You shake your head, grinning. Life here is hard, but it's not without its absurdities. The heat intensifies, and you sip from your beer jug, the liquid warm and slightly sour. It's no craft brew from your modern dreams, but it's what you've got. You think back to that crocodile dung sunscreen you've yet to try. Maybe tomorrow, you tell yourself, though the smell alone makes you hesitate. The quarry's noise fades for a moment as you focus on your block, its edges slowly taking shape. There's a strange beauty in this work, in the way each strike brings order to chaos. You're not just cutting stone, you're crafting eternity, or so the priests say. You're not sure you believe them, but the thought is comforting, like a cool breeze you can't quite feel. As the block nears completion, you step back, inspecting your work. It's good, not perfect, but good enough to pass the overseer's scrutiny. You signal to the hauling crew, who drag it away on a sledge, their chant rising again. You're already moving to the next block, the rhythm pulling you back in. But a question nags at you, one that lingers in the dust-choked air. Scholars still debate how many workers toiled here, tens of thousands, or just a few thousand cycling through? Were you one of a vast army, or part of a smaller, skilled crew? The answer changes with every new dig, every new papyrus. For now, you know only the weight of your tools and the stone before you. The day stretches on, and you find a kind of peace in the repetition. The pyramid looms larger with each block, a silent promise of something beyond your understanding. You're tired, yes, but there's a flicker of pride in your chest. You're not a slave, not a hero, just a man with a chisel, shaping the future one strike at a time. The sun dips lower, casting long shadows across the quarry, and you know soon you'll return to the village, to bread and beer and the hum of life. For now, though, you keep working, the stone your companion, the desert your home. Part 3. The sun hangs heavy over Giza, its glare softening as midday creeps toward afternoon. You trudge from the quarry, your chisel and hammer tucked under your arm. Their weight a familiar ache. The air shimmers with heat, carrying the faint scent of dust and distant Nile reeds. Your throat is dry, your kilt stiff with sweat. But there's a pause in the day's rhythm now, a moment to rest, to eat, to breathe. You join a cluster of workers near the village, where the promise of bread and beer waits like a quiet blessing. This isn't a banquet hall or a modern lunch break with iced drinks and chatter. It's simpler, earthier, a ritual that binds you to the others who share this life. So, sink into the stillness. Let the desert's hum cradle you, and let's linger in this fleeting reprieve. You settle onto a patch of packed earth, shaded by a rough canopy of palm fronds. The village hums around you, low voices. The clink of clay jugs, a child's laughter cutting through the haze. Your fellow workers sprawl nearby, their faces lined with dust but softened by the prospect of food. A woman from the bakery approaches, her arms laden with baskets of bread, each loaf round and dense, baked golden in communal ovens. You take two, their warmth seeping into your palms. And a jug of beer, its surface frothy and slightly sour. The bread is gritty, flecked with bits of husk, but it's hearty, filling the hollow in your gut. You tear off a piece, chewing slowly, savoring the faint sweetness of emmer wheat. The beer is no craft IPA, but it's the lifeblood of this place. You tilt the jug, letting the cool, tangy liquid slide down your throat. It's weaker than the brews served to scribes or priests, diluted to keep you sharp for the afternoon's work. Still, it's a comfort, like the bread, a reminder that the pharaoh's system keeps you fed. You glance at the others, their heads bowed over their meals, and feel a quiet kinship. This moment, brief as it is yours. You're not hauling stone or dodging the overseer's gaze. You're just a man, eating under the desert sky, the pyramid's shadow stretching long in the distance. This meal is no mere detail, it's a historical cornerstone. Excavations at Giza's workers' village revealed vast bakeries and breweries, their output meticulously recorded by scribes. Thousands of loaves and jugs were produced daily. enough to sustain a workforce of thousands. Animal bones found nearby, cattle, sheep, fish, show you weren't just fed scraps. The pharaoh's planners ensured a diet rich enough to fuel heavy labor. A testament to Egypt's logistical might. You're not starving, not like the myths of whip-driven slaves might suggest. Your body aches, but it's strong, sustained by this simple spread. You take another sip of beer, its bubbles tickling your tongue, and feel the truth of it in your bones. Now for a quirkier note, something to make you smirk. Did you know the beer wasn't just drink but currency? Workers were sometimes paid in jugs of it, their labor measured in loaves and brews. You've heard of men bartering extra beer for a better chisel or a woven mat. One worker nearby boasts he traded 3 jugs for a copper amulet shaped like a scarab. You roll your eyes, scarabs are nice, but you'd rather keep your beer. It's a strange economy, this world of bread and brew, but it works. Keeping the village alive with trades and quiet deals under the overseer's nose. You lean back, the canopies shade a small mercy. A worker across from you cracks a joke about the bakery's newest apprentice, who burned a batch of loaves so badly they could double as quarry stones. You chuckle, the sound low and warm. Another adds that the overseer's baboon once swiped a loaf and ran, leaving chaos in its wake. Faster than us with a sledge, you mutter, and the group laughs softly. These moments of humor are rare. Like oases in the desert, and you hold them close. They're not loud or brash, just enough to lighten the weight of the day. The bread's texture reminds you of home, of meals shared by the Nile's edge. Though those feel far away now. You think of that crocodile dung sunscreen again. Maybe it's time to try it, if only to avoid another sunburn. The thought fades as you watch a scribe pass by, his papyrus scroll tucked under his arm. He's counting something, loaves, jugs, workers. Always counting. You wonder if he knows the taste of quarry dust or the burn of a chisel's grip. Probably not. His world is ink and numbers, yours is stone and sweat. As you finish your meal, a question lingers, one that scholars still wrestle with. Historians debate whether the worker's diet was a privilege or a necessity. Did the pharaoh feed you well to honor your labor, or simply to keep the pyramid on schedule? Was this bread a reward or a chain? You don't know, and maybe it doesn't matter. The bread is gone, the jug nearly empty, and the afternoon's work waits. You stand brushing crumbs from your kilt, and join the others heading back to the quarry. The pyramid looms, its limestone gleaming, a silent demand for your strength. The air grows warmer, the shade's relief fading as you walk. You carry the memory of this meal, its simplicity a quiet anchor. The village recedes behind you, its sound softening, but you know you'll return tonight, to firelight and rest. For now. The stone calls, and you answer, one step at a time, your body weary but steady. The desert stretches wide, the Nile a distant shimmer, and you move forward, part of something vast, something eternal. Even if your role feels small. Part 4. The afternoon sun softens over Giza, its heat now a warm hum rather than a searing weight. You leave the quarry behind, your chisel tucked away, your hands dusted white with limestone. The village calls you back, its mud brick walls glowing faintly in the slanting light. The air carries the scent of baked bread and the distant tang of the Nile, mingling with the sweat and dust on your skin. Your muscles ache, but the day's labor pauses as you weave through the bustling workers' settlement. This isn't just a place to sleep or eat. It's a living, breathing world, where bonds form like threads in a worn linen cloth. So, settle into the rhythm of this evening, let the desert's whisper guide you. And walk with me through the heart of the village. You step into the maze of narrow alleys, where houses huddle close, their walls patched with straw and clay. The village is alive, children dart past, their laughter sharp and fleeting, while women carry water jars balanced on their shoulders. Men like you, their kilts streaked with quarry dust, trade quiet words or barter for small comforts. You pass a weaver's stall, where a woman threads flax into cloth, her fingers nimble despite the day's heat. You nod to her, and she returns a tired but warm smile. These moments, small as they are, stitch the village together, softening the grind of your work. You're not alone here, not just a pair of hands for the pharaoh's stone. You find a familiar spot near a communal fire pit, where a group of workers gathers, their voices low and easy. The fire crackles, sending sparks into the deepening sky, and you sit on a low stone, your back against a wall still warm from the sun. Someone passes a jug of beer, not your ration, but a shared one, a gesture of trust. You take a sip, its sour warmth familiar, and pass it on. The talk turns to the day's work, to a block that nearly tipped a sledge, to the overseer's baboon that stole a worker's sandal this time. You chuckle softly, adding, "That beast's got better aim than half the quarry crew." The laughter is gentle, a balm for weary bones. This sense of community is no fiction, it's rooted in history. Excavations at Giza uncovered a sprawling workers' village, complete with dormitories, bakeries, and even a fish processing area, suggesting a diverse group drawn from across Egypt. The houses, though simple, were built to last, their layouts hinting at families and friendships. Not just labor camps. You're part of this tapestry, one of thousands who live and work here, your life woven into the daily hum of the settlement. The pharaoh's scribes may count your loaves, but it's the shared jugs, the traded stories, that make this place feel like home, if only for now. Let's pause for something odder, a detail to make you tilt your head. The village has its own makeshift dentist, an older woman with a knack for pulling bad teeth using nothing but a copper tool and a steady hand. You've heard her patients howl, but they walk away relieved, clutching a charm for Bess, the dwarf god of protection. You haven't needed her services yet, your teeth are holding up, thanks to that gritty bread, but you've seen her work, her face calm as she mutters prayers over a grimacing worker. It's a strange kind of care, rough but real, and you're glad it's there. Even if you hope to avoid her copper pliers. The fire's glow deepens, painting the faces around you in soft oranges. A worker named Ka, his hands scarred from years at the quarry, tells the story of his village by the Nile, where fish leap into nets like they're eager to be caught. You smile, picturing it, though you suspect he's stretching the truth. Another worker jokes that Ka's fish tails are taller than the pyramid itself, and you laugh, the sound blending with the fire's crackle. These moments are fleeting, but they anchor you, reminding you that you're more than your tools, more than the stone you shape. You think back to the bread and beer from midday, the way they grounded you. You still haven't tried that crocodile dung sunscreen, though Ka swears by it, claiming it keeps his skin from cracking like old clay. You shake your head, half amused, and wonder what other oddities this village hides. The conversation shifts to the pyramid, to rumors of a new ramp system that might make hauling easier. You listen, intrigued, but your mind drifts to the faces around you, men and women who, like you, left homes and families for this work. The village binds you together. Its alleys and fires a refuge from the quarry's demands. A question lingers, one that scholars still ponder. Historians debate whether the workers' village was a privilege or a necessity. Did the pharaoh build this community to foster loyalty, or simply to keep you close and controlled? Were you here by choice, drawn by pride, or by obligation you couldn't refuse? The answer feels distant, like the stars above. You know only the warmth of the fire, the weight of the jug in your hand, the voices that carry you through the night. The evening deepens, and you stand, stretching your aching limbs. The pyramid waits, its silhouette faint against the sky, but for now, the village is enough. You say goodnight to Ka and the others, their faces glowing in the firelight, and head toward your dormitory. The alleys are quieter now, the air cooler. The Niles hum a distant lullaby. You carry the village with you, its bonds a quiet strength, as you step into the night, ready for rest, ready for tomorrow's stone. Part 5. The dawn light creeps over Giza, painting the village in soft golds and pinks. You stir on your reed mat, the air cool against your skin, scented with the faint musk of mud brick and last night's fire. The village hums faintly, early risers clatter pots, a donkey brays in the distance, but you linger a moment, savoring the quiet before the day's demands. Your body aches from yesterday's quarry work, but there's a rhythm to this life, a pulse that carries you forward. Today, you'll face the overseer's sharp eyes, his presence as constant as the pyramid itself. So ease into this morning, let the desert stillness wrap around you, and walk with me through the balance of discipline and pride that defines your work. You rise, pulling on your linen kilt, its edges frayed but familiar. The village stirs as you step outside, joining the stream of workers heading to the quarry. The air is crisp, but the sun promises heat, already warming the sand under your sandals. You pass the bakery, where the yeasty tang of bread drifts, and grab your ration, 2 loaves and a jug of beer, same as always. You eat as you walk, the bread's grit catching in your teeth. And think of the village fire last night, the laughter over Ka's fish tales. Those moments linger, softening the day ahead, but the quarry looms, and with it, the overseer's watch. You reach the quarry, where limestone blocks gleam in the morning light. The overseer stands on a low ridge, his staff planted in the sand, his kilt crisp despite the dust. He's not old, but his face is weathered, his eyes sharp enough to spot a misaligned block from across the site. You've heard he was a worker once, promoted for his knack for numbers and order. Now, he's the pharaoh's voice, ensuring every chisel strike serves the pyramid's purpose. You feel his gaze as you pick up your tools, a copper chisel and stone hammer, their weight grounding you. Strike. Chip, strike, chip. You focus, knowing a sloppy cut could earn a barked correction. The historical truth here lies in the overseers themselves. Figures documented in ancient records like the Diary of Mirror, a papyrus detailing stone transport at Giza. These men weren't cruel tyrants but skilled managers, coordinating thousands of workers with precision. They tracked blocks, rations, and progress, their work as vital as yours. The overseer's presence isn't just discipline. It's the glue that holds this massive project together. You respect him, even if his stare makes your neck prickle. He's not here to punish but to ensure the pharaoh's vision rises stone by stone. Now for a quirkier detail, something to quirk your lips. The overseer's pet baboon, that sandal-stealing menace, isn't just a village joke, it's his unofficial assistant. You've seen it perch on his shoulder, chattering as if critiquing your work. Workers whisper it's trained to fetch tools or scare off slackers. You doubt it's that clever, but yesterday, it dropped a pebble on a dozing worker's head, earning a roar of laughter. You glance at the baboon now, lounging in the shade, and mutter, "Better at inspections than me." It's absurd. But in this dusty world, even a baboon finds a role. You keep chiseling, the rhythm steadying your thoughts. A worker nearby grumbles about the overseer's latest rule: blocks must be measured twice before hauling. You shrug, saying, "At least he's not measuring our beer jugs." The man snorts, and you share a quiet grin. Another worker chimes in, claiming the baboon's the real stickler, sniffing every block for flaws. You laugh softly, the sound swallowed by the quarry's din. These small jests are your shield, keeping the overseer's weight from crushing your spirit. You're not defiant, just human, finding light in the grind. The morning stretches, and you feel a flicker of pride as your block takes shape, its edges crisp. The overseer passes by, nodding faintly, high praise from a man of few words. You think of that crocodile dung sunscreen Ka mentioned. Maybe it's worth a try if it keeps the sun at bay. The thought fades as you focus on your chisel, the stone yielding under your strikes. There's skill in this, a craft you've honed over months. You're not just labor, you're a builder, shaping a monument that will echo through time. The overseer sees it, even if he doesn't say it. A question nags, one that scholars still chase. Historians debate whether overseers were harsh taskmasters or respected leaders. Did they rule by fear, or by earning trust like yours does? The truth lies buried in faded papyri and worn stones, but you know this man's nod means more than his staff. You're part of his system, your pride tied to his approval, however grudging. The pyramid rises because of this balance, this dance of discipline and skill. As noon nears, the quarry buzzes with sledges and chants. You finish your block, signaling the hauling crew, and wipe sweat from your brow. The overseer's gaze shifts elsewhere, and you exhale, feeling the weight lift. The pyramid looms, its casing stones gleaming, a testament to your shared effort. You're tired, but there's a quiet fire in you, a sense that your work matters. The village waits, with its fires and bonds, but for now, you pick up your chisel again, ready for the next block. The next strike, the next step in this eternal task. Part 6. The midday sun hovers over Giza, its light sharp but softened by a faint haze of dust. You stand in the quarry, your hands chalky from limestone, your kilt damp with sweat. The morning's work lies behind you, a block carved and sent to the hauling crew, but the day presses on, pulling you toward the pyramid itself. The air hums with the creak of sledges and the low chants of workers, a rhythm as steady as the Nile's flow. Today, you're not cutting stone but watching it rise, marveling at the ramps that lift blocks to the heavens. So, breathe deep, let the desert's warmth cradle you, and walk with me through this dance of stone and ingenuity. You follow a group of workers toward the pyramid, its half-finished bulk looming like a mountain born of human will. The ground slopes upward, packed hard by countless feet, and you feel the shift from quarry chaos to construction's ordered pulse. The ramp system is the heart of this work, a massive, sloping path of packed earth and rubble, winding up the pyramid's side. You've heard the overseer call it a marvel, and you see why. Blocks weighing as much as a dozen men slide up these ramps on wooden sledges, pulled by teams chanting in unison. You join a crew at the ramp's base, your task to guide a block into place, ensuring its path is smooth. The block before you is enormous, its edges crisp from the quarry's chisels. Workers pour water from clay jars, wetting the ramp's surface to reduce friction, a trick you've come to respect. You grip a rope, its fibers rough against your palms, and lean into the pull. The sledge moves slow but steady, the block inching upward. Sweat stings your eyes, and the chant, low, rhythmic, almost hypnotic, keeps you in step. You glance at the pyramid, its casing stones gleaming white, and feel a flicker of awe. This isn't just labor, it's a puzzle, each piece fitted with care to defy time. The historical anchor here is the ramp system itself, a feat of engineering pieced together from archaeological clues. Excavations at Giza and nearby sites reveal traces of these ramps, some straight, some zigzagging, others built within the pyramid structure. They allowed workers to move millions of stones without modern tools, a testament to Egypt's practical genius. You're part of this system, your rope a thread in a vast web of effort. The overseer watches from a platform, his staff tapping the ground, but you focus on the block, its weight a shared burden, its journey a quiet triumph. Now for a quirkier detail, something to make you smirk. The workers have a superstition about the ramps. They say the gods linger where stones meet sky, to keep them happy. Some tie tiny linen scraps to the sledge ropes, offerings to ensure safe passage. You've seen Ka do it, muttering a prayer as he knots a frayed strip. You haven't joined in yet, but you notice your rope has a scrap tied by someone else, fluttering like a moth. Gods or not, you mutter, this block's heavy. It's a small ritual, silly but endearing, tying you to the others in ways you can't quite name. You pull harder, the chant swelling around you. A worker ahead jokes that the sledge moves smoother than the overseer's baboon on a good day. You grin, adding, at least it doesn't steal our beer. Another laughs, claiming he saw the baboon trip a scribe yesterday, sending papyrus flying. The humor is soft, a breeze in the heat, keeping you grounded. You think of the village, of last night's fire and Ka's stories, and feel its warmth even here, under the pyramid's shadow. That crocodile dung sunscreen still tempts you, maybe tomorrow, if the sun keeps burning. The block nears its place, and you step aside as skilled masons take over, their tools clinking as they align it with precision. You watch, catching your breath, marveling at how the stone slots into the pyramid's face, seamless as if grown there. There's a beauty in this. A craft beyond your quarry work. You're not a mason yet, but you feel the pride of contributing, of being part of something eternal. The ramp stretches above, leading to heights you've never climbed. And you wonder what it's like up there, where the air is thinner, the gods closer. A question lingers, one that scholars still chase. Historians debate the ramp's design. Were they single, massive slopes, or a network of smaller paths wrapping the pyramid? Some argue for internal ramps, hidden within the structure, but no one knows for sure. You don't care much for the debate. You know only the rope in your hand, the block's slow climb. The pyramid rises, and that's enough. You wipe sweat from your brow, the chant fading as the crew disperses. The overseer nods. A rare gesture, and you feel a quiet swell of worth. The afternoon stretches, the ramp bustling with new blocks. You linger a moment, watching another sledge begin its ascent. The workers chants a steady pulse. The pyramid grows, its silhouette sharper against the sky, a promise of eternity you can't fully grasp. You turn back to the ramp, ready for the next pull. The next block, the next step. The village waits, with its fires and bonds, but for now, the ramp is your world, the stone your purpose, the chant your heartbeat. Part 7. The evening settles over Giza. The sky deepening to a bruised purple, streaked with gold. You stand at the pyramid's base, the ramp behind you quiet now, its sledge is still, its chants faded. The air is cooler, scented with dust and the faint green of Nile reeds carried on a breeze. Your hands are raw from ropes, your kilt stiff with sweat. But the day's labor pauses for something sacred, a ritual to honor the gods, to bless the pharaoh's tomb. The village hums in the distance, but here, under the pyramid's shadow, you feel the weight of something larger. So, sink into this twilight, let the desert's hush enfold you, and walk with me through this moment of faith and stone. You join a small group of workers gathered near a limestone altar, its surface worn smooth by countless hands. A priest, his linen robe cleaner than yours, stands before it. His voice low and rhythmic, chanting prayers to Ra and Osiris. You're no stranger to these rituals. Every village has its shrines, but this feels different, tied to the pyramid's purpose. The altar holds offerings, a few loaves of bread, a jug of beer, a handful of dried figs. You add your own, a small knot of linen torn from your kilt, a humble gesture for divine favor. The priest's chant rises, and you bow your head, the words washing over you like the Nile's current. The fire at the altar crackles, its smoke curling upward, sharp with the scent of burning myrrh. You glance at the pyramid, its casing stones glowing faintly under the rising moon. This ritual isn't grand, not like the ceremonies in Memphis with their golden statues and chanting throngs. It's simple, meant for workers like you, a reminder that your labor serves the gods as much as the pharaoh. You feel a flicker of connection, not just to the divine but to the others around you, Ka. His scarred hands clasped, and a woman from the bakery, her eyes closed in prayer. The pyramid binds you all, its stones a bridge to eternity. The historical anchor here is the religious life of Giza's workers, evident in small shrines and amulets found at the village site. These weren't elaborate temples but modest spaces where laborers sought blessings for their work and the pharaoh's afterlife. The Egyptians believed the pyramid was a stairway to the gods, its construction a sacred act. You're part of this belief, your ropes and chisels tools of devotion, not just toil. The priest scatters natron salt over the offerings, his voice steady. And you feel the ritual's rhythm, like the quarry's chants, grounding you in something vast. Now for a quirkier detail, something to nudge a smile. The workers have a peculiar habit during these rituals. Some chew garlic cloves, believing they ward off evil spirits that might curse the pyramid. You've seen Ka pop one in his mouth, wincing at the bite but swearing it keeps him safe. You haven't tried it yourself. The smell alone could scare off more than spirits. Garlic's for cooking, you mutter, and Ka grins, offering you a clove. You wave it off, but the oddity lingers, A reminder of how faith here blends with the practical, the strange, the human. The priest's chant softens, and you join the others in a quiet gesture, touching the ground, a sign of respect for the earth that yields the pyramid stones. A worker nearby whispers a joke about the priest's bald head, shinier than the casing stones. You stifle a chuckle, adding, "At least it doesn't need sunscreen." Another murmurs that the overseer's baboon once chewed the priest's sandal, spitting it out in disgust. The laughter is soft, barely audible, a thread of lightness in the solemn moment. These jests are your quiet rebellion, keeping the gods' weight from overwhelming you. You think of the village, of last night's fire, and the bonds it forged. That crocodile dung sunscreen cock keeps pushing. Maybe you'll try it if it means fewer burns. The thought fades as the priest raises his hands, ending the ritual with a final prayer for the pharaoh's eternal journey. You feel a stir of pride, knowing your work builds that journey. Stone by stone, the pyramid looms, its silhouette sharp against the stars, and you wonder if the gods truly watch, if they see your knotted linen, your calloused hands. A question lingers, one that scholars still ponder. Historians debate whether these rituals were heartfelt or obligatory. Did workers like you pray out of faith, or because the priests demanded it? The truth is murky. Like the Nile at dusk, you know only the altar's warmth, the chant's cadence, the shared silence of this moment. Faith or duty, it holds you here, under the pyramid's gaze, part of something eternal. The group disperses, the fire's glow fading. You linger a moment, watching the priest gather the offerings, his movements slow, deliberate. The pyramid stands silent, its stones a testament to your labor, your prayers. You turn toward the village, the path familiar under your sandals, the night air cool against your skin. The ritual's peace stays with you. A quiet anchor as you walk, ready for rest, for bread and beer, for the fire's warmth. The gods may watch, or they may not, but the pyramid rises, and you're part of its story. One knot of linen at a time. Part 8. The morning sun rises over Giza, its light soft but promising heat. You walk from the village, your sandals scuffing the packed earth. The air thick with the scent of dust and distant Nile water. Last night's ritual lingers in your mind, the altar's fire, the priest's chant, the knotted linen you left for the gods. But today pulls you back to the quarry's rhythm, to stone and sweat. A shout breaks your thoughts. A worker has slipped, his arm gashed by a falling chisel. You follow the crowd to the healer's tent, where care, not labor, takes center stage. So, settle into this moment, let the desert's hum soothe you, and walk with me through the unexpected kindness of this dusty world. You duck into the tent. A low structure of woven reeds and linen, its interior dim but warm. The air smells of herbs, coriander, perhaps, and something sharper, like crushed myrrh. The injured worker, a wiry man named Sin, sits on a mat, clutching his arm, his face tight with pain but not panic. The healer, an older woman with steady hands, kneels beside him. Her kilt is stained with ochre, her hair tied back with a linen strip. She works quickly, cleaning the wound with water from a clay bowl, her movements precise yet gentle. You stand with others watching, your chisel forgotten in your hand. The healer applies a paste, honey and natron, you guess its scent sweet but medicinal. She wraps Sen's arm in clean linen, muttering a charm to Sekhmet, the lioness goddess of healing. Sen exhales, his shoulders easing, and you feel the tense tension soften. This isn't a battlefield surgery or a modern ER, but it's not crude either. The healer's skill surprises you, a reminder that this village, for all its grit, cares for its own. You glance at Ka, standing nearby, his scarred hands fidgeting. He nods as if to say, "She's good." You nod back, grateful for this small mercy in a world of stone. The historical truth here is the medical care at Giza, evidenced by skeletal remains and tools found at the workers' village. Bones show signs of treated fractures, splints, even rudimentary surgeries, suggesting a system of care for laborers. Some had limbs amputated and survived, their wounds healed with techniques advanced for the time. The pharaoh's planners knew a healthy workforce built faster. So healers like this woman were as vital as overseers. You're not disposable. Your body, like the pyramid stones, is part of the plan. Sen will rest today, maybe tomorrow, but he'll return. His arm scarred but functional. Now, for a quirkier detail, something to raise an eyebrow. The healers sometimes use moldy bread as a poultice, believing its green fuzz fights infection. You've seen it applied to cuts, the workers wincing at the smell but trusting the cure. It's not far off from modern penicillin, though you'd rather not think about bread in your wounds. Better than garlic, you mutter, recalling Ka's spirit-warding clothes from the ritual. Ka overhears, grinning. Bread's for eating, not bandaging, he says, and you smirk. Glad to avoid both for now. The healer finishes, giving Sen a clay amulet shaped like an ankh, a symbol of life. He clutches it, murmuring thanks, and the crowd thins. You step outside. The sun now higher, its heat pressing your skin. A worker nearby jokes that the healer's better at fixing arms than the overseer is at keeping his baboon in line. You chuckle, adding, "That baboon break the splint just to chew it." Another laughs, claiming he saw the beast steal a healer's herb pouch once, scattering coriander everywhere. The humor is quiet. A ripple in the morning's weight, keeping you tethered to the village's pulse. You think of the ritual's fire, its smoke curling like the healer's myrrh. That crocodile dung sunscreen Ka keeps pushing. Maybe it's not so bad if it protects you from worse than burns. The thought fades as you head back to the quarry, the healer's tent receding behind you. Sen's care reminds you of the village's bonds, the way it holds you together, like the ramps lifting stones. You're not just a worker, you're part of a system that mends as well as builds. That values your hands enough to heal them. A question lingers, one that scholars still debate. Historians wonder whether this medical care was compassionate or pragmatic. Did the pharaoh provide healers to ease suffering, or to keep the pyramid on schedule? The answer feels distant. Like the Nile's shimmer. You know only the healer's steady hands, Sen's relieved sigh, the ankh's weight in his palm. Care or control, it keeps you moving, your chisel ready for the next block. The quarry buzzes as you return, the overseer's gaze sharp from his ridge. You pick up your tools, the stone before you waiting, its surface rough but yielding. The pyramid looms. Its casing stones catching the sun, a silent call to your labor. You strike, chip, the rhythm familiar, almost comforting. The healer's tent fades from view. But its memory stays, a reminder that this life, for all its toil, has moments of grace. The village waits, with its fires and bread, but for now, the stone is your world, the pyramid your purpose. One careful strike at a time. Part 9. The night drapes over Giza, a velvet blanket studded with stars. You sit by a fire pit in the village, its flames casting flickering shadows on the mud brick walls. The air is cool, scented with smoke and the faint musk of the Nile, a relief after the quarry's dusty heat. Your hands, still gritty from chiseling, rest on your knees. Your kilt loose after a day of labor. The healer's tent from this morning feels distant, but its memory, Sen's bandaged arm, the ankh amulet, lingers. Tonight, the village gathers not for work or prayer but for stories, swapped under the firelight's glow. So, sink into this quiet, let the desert's murmur hold you. And walk with me through tales that weave myth and truth. You lean back against a low stone, the fire's warmth seeping into your bones. Around you, workers sprawl, Ka. His scarred hands cradling a beer jug. The bakery woman, her fingers dusted with flour. Others whose faces you know from ramps and sledges. The fire crackles, spitting sparks. And the talk turns to stories, the kind that blur the line between memory and dream. Ka starts, his voice low, telling of a quarry ghost, a worker who died under a fallen block. Now wandering the ramps, his chisel echoing in the dark. You've heard it before, but the night makes it real, the stars above whispering secrets. You sip your beer, its sour tang grounding you. The story shifts to the pyramid itself, to tales of gods shaping its stones before men ever touched them. A young worker, barely past boyhood, swears Ari himself carved the first block. His sunlit hands leaving no mark. You smile, skeptical but charmed. These stories aren't just entertainment, they're a thread binding you to this place, to the labor that defines you. You add your own, a half-true tale of a sledge that moved uphill alone, as if pulled by Anubis. Ka laughs, saying, "Your sledge had better ropes than mine." The group chuckles, the sound soft. A ripple in the night. The historical anchor here is the oral tradition of Giza's workers, hinted at in inscriptions and later Egyptian texts. Laborers, often illiterate, passed down stories of their work, blending practical details, ramp techniques, stone counts, with myths of gods and spirits. These tales, though unrecorded, shaped the village's identity, giving meaning to the toil. You're part of this tradition, your voice one of many, your story's a way to claim the pyramid as yours, not just the pharaoh's. The fire's glow paints your face, and you feel the weight of this moment, a pause in a life of stone. Now for a quirkier detail, something to quirk your lips. The workers have a strange habit of carving tiny symbols into unused quarry scraps, scarabs, eyes, reeds, not for scribes but for luck. You've seen Ka etch a falcon, swearing it honors Horus and keeps his chisel sharp. You haven't tried it yourself, your hands are too tired for extra work. "My luck's in my beer," you mutter, raising your jug. Ka grins, tossing a pebble at you, and you dodge, smirking. It's a small ritual, these carvings, a way to leave a mark in a world where your name won't be. The fire pops, and a woman tells of a star that fell near Memphis, its light guiding a lost worker home. You listen, the tale soothing, like the ritual's chants or the healer's herbs. A worker jokes that the overseer's baboon could navigate by stars, if it wasn't too busy stealing sandals. You chuckle, adding, "It'd probably eat the star first." Another laughs, claiming he saw the baboon chew a scribe's reed pen, spitting ink like a curse. The humor is gentle, a breeze in the fire's heat, tying you to these faces this night. You think of the healer's tent, of Sen's relief, and the village's care. That crocodile dung sunscreen Ka keeps pushing, maybe it's worth a try, if only to join his odd rituals. The thought fades as the stories flow, each one a thread in the village's tapestry. You feel the pyramid's presence, its silhouette faint against the sky, a silent witness to your tales. These stories aren't just for now. They're for the future, for the workers who'll follow, for the stones that'll stand when you're gone. A question lingers, one that scholars still chase. Historians debate whether these stories were mere folklore or a way to preserve technical knowledge. Did they entertain, or did they teach ramp angles and stone weights? The truth is lost, like smoke in the wind. You know only the fire's warmth, Ka's voice, the weight of your jug. Stories or lessons, they hold you here, under the stars, part of something eternal. The night deepens, the fire burning low. You stand stretching, your body heavy but your mind light. The pyramid waits, its stones calling you back, but for now, the village is enough. You say goodnight to Ka. To the others, their faces glowing in the embers. The path to your dormitory is dark, the air cool, the Niles hum a distant lullaby. You carry the stories with you, their weight a quiet comfort. As you step into the night, ready for rest, ready for tomorrow's stone. Part 10. The dawn breaks gently over Giza, the sky a soft veil of pink and gold. You wake on your reed mat, the village stirring around you with the clatter of pots and the low murmur of voices. The air is cool, scented with mud brick and the faint tang of last night's fire, where stories of ghosts and gods wove through the dark. Your body aches from days of chiseling and pulling ropes, but today, as you rise, your thoughts drift far from the quarry, to the family you left behind, to the village by the Nile that feels like a dream. So, settle into this quiet morning, let the desert's hush cradle you, and walk with me through the ache of absence and the solace of legacy. You pull on your linen kilt, its edges worn but familiar, and step outside. The village hums, children chase a stray goat. Women carry water jars, men like you head to the bakery for bread and beer. You collect your ration, the loaves warm, the jugs beers sour but steadying. As you eat, sitting on a low stone, you watch the sunrise paint the pyramid's casing stones, their limestone glowing like moonlight trapped in day. The sight is beautiful, but it stirs a pang in your chest. You think of home. Of your mother's voice calling you to dinner, of your younger brother splashing in the Nile's shallows. They're far away, in a village where reeds sway and fish glint. A world untouched by Giza's dust. You chew slowly, the bread's grit grounding you. You've been here months, maybe years. Time blurs in the quarry's rhythm. Letters are rare. Papyrus is for scribes, not workers like you. You send messages through travelers when you can, words scratched on pottery shards, promising you're alive, fed, working for the pharaoh's glory. You wonder if your family understands, if they see the pyramid in their dreams as you do. You're here for them, in a way, to build something eternal. To leave a mark that might reach them across the Nile's bends. The thought is a quiet anchor, like the firelight stories from last night, holding you steady. The historical truth here is the conscription system that brought you to Giza, documented in ancient records like the Wadi el-Jarf papyri. Workers were often drawn from villages across Egypt, serving seasonal or multi-year terms, not as slaves but as laborers paid in food and shelter. Many, like you, left families behind, their labor a duty to the pharaoh and the gods. Your village sent you, one of many, to serve the pyramid's rise. You're not bound by chains, but by obligation, by the promise of pride, by the hope that your work means something to those you love. Now for a quirkier detail, something to nudge a smile. Workers sometimes carve small tokens, bits of limestone shaped into fish or birds, to send home as gifts. You've seen Ka whittle one. A clumsy falcon, swearing it'll make his son laugh. You haven't tried it yet, your hands are too callous for delicate work. My brother'd rather have beer, you mutter, and Ka chuckles, tossing you a pebble as if it's a masterpiece. It's a small act, these tokens, a way to bridge the distance, to say, I'm still here, without words. You finish your meal, the jug empty, and join the stream of workers heading to the quarry. A worker nearby jokes that the overseer's baboon could carry a message home faster than a traveler. You grin, adding, it'd probably eat the shard first. Another laughs, claiming he saw the baboon steal a scribe's inkpot, leaving black pawprints across a papyrus. The humor is soft, a flicker in the morning's wait, tying you to the village's pulse. You think of Ka's falcon carving, of the healer's ankh, of the ritual's linen knot, small things that carry meaning, like your thoughts of home. The quarry waits, its limestone blocks gleaming. You pick up your chisel, the rhythm of strike, chip, pulling you in. But your mind lingers on home, on the Nile's cool water, on your mother's bread. Softer than Giza's. That crocodile dung sunscreen Ka keeps pushing. Maybe you'll try it, if only to feel closer to the river's oddities. The thought fades as you work, the stone yielding, the pyramid growing. You're building for the pharaoh, yes, but also for them, for the family who might one day hear of this monument, and know your hands shaped it. A question lingers, one that scholars still ponder. Historians debate whether workers like you felt pride or resentment. Did you toil for glory, or because your village left you no choice? The truth is murky. Like the Nile at dawn. You know only the ache in your chest, the stone before you, the hope that your labor reaches home. Pride or duty, it keeps you here, chiseling under the sun. Part of something eternal. The morning stretches, the quarry buzzing with sledges and chants. You finish a block, signaling the hauling crew, and wipe sweat from your brow. The pyramid looms, its silhouette sharp, a testament to your shared effort. You're tired, but there's a quiet fire in you, a sense that your work echoes beyond Giza, to the Nile's banks, to the ones you love. The village waits, with its fires and stories, but for now, the stone is your world, the pyramid your legacy, one strike at a time. Part 11. The midday sun burns over Giza. Its light harsh but softened by a faint breeze stirring the dust. You stand in the quarry, your chisel slick with sweat, the stone before you yielding slowly under your strikes. The morning's thoughts of home, your mother's voice, your brother's laughter, linger like a distant hum, but the pyramid's rhythm pulls you back. Today, a rare event breaks the monotony. Whispers ripple through the workers of the pharaoh's visit, a god-king whose shadow looms larger than the stones you shape. So, sink into this moment, let the deserts pull steady you, and walk with me through the awe and distance of his presence. You pause, wiping your brow, the air thick with limestone grit and the faint scent of Nile reeds. The quarry buzzes, sledges creak. Workers chant, but the mood is electric, charged with anticipation. You've never seen the pharaoh, Khufu, only heard his name in prayers or the overseer's commands. He's not just a man but a living god, his will the reason you're here, chiseling under the sun. Word spreads that he's inspecting the pyramid's progress, his retinue camped near the plateau's edge. You strain to look, but the quarry's chaos blocks your view. Still, you feel his presence, like the weight of the pyramid itself, pressing on your shoulders. You join a group moving toward the ramps, tasked with hauling a block to the pyramid's growing face. The ramp slopes upward, its surface slick from watered sand, and you grip the rope, leaning into the pull. The chant rises, steadying your steps, but your eyes dart to the horizon, where a cluster of figures stands, scribes, priests, and perhaps the pharaoh himself. You imagine him in gold, his kilt gleaming, his eyes scanning the stones you've shaped. The thought is thrilling yet distant. He's as far from you as the stars, his world one of palaces, yours of dust and ropes. The historical anchor here is Khufu's oversight of the Great Pyramid, suggested by inscriptions and the Wadi el-Jarf papyri, which detail royal inspections of construction sites. Pharaohs like Khufu didn't just commission monuments. They monitored them, their divine status tied to the pyramid's perfection. His visit, though rare, reinforces the sacred purpose of your labor, a tomb to ensure his eternal journey. You're a small part of this vision, your rope one of countless threads in his grand design. The block moves, the sledge sliding, and you feel the weight of his gaze, even if it's imagined. Now for a quirkier detail, something to quirk your lips. The workers whisper that Khufu's favorite incense, a rare blend of frankincense and myrrh, drifts from his camp, so potent it could mask even the quarry's dust. You've caught a whiff, sweet, heavy, unlike the village's myrrh at rituals. Ka claims it's worth more than a year's beer rations. I'd trade my chisel for a sniff, you mutter, half joking. Ka grins, tossing a pebble your way. It's a fleeting fancy, this incense. A reminder of the pharaoh's world, so unlike your own. The block nears its place, and you step back, letting the masons align it. A worker nearby jokes that the pharaoh should meet the overseer's baboon. It'd steal his incense in a heartbeat. You chuckle, adding, it'd probably crown itself king. Another laughs, claiming he saw the baboon chew a priest's sandal, spitting it out like a bad loaf. The humor is soft, a breath in the heat, grounding you amid the pharaoh's distant glory. You think of Ka's falcon carving, sent to his son, and the healer's ankh, small tokens that tether you to the village, unlike Khufu's untouchable world. The ramp's rhythm slows, and you catch a glimpse of the retinue moving away, their figures blurred by dust. The pharaoh is gone, if he was ever there, leaving only whispers and the pyramid's silent demand. You feel a mix of awe and detachment. His vision drives you, but your hands shape it. That crocodile dung sunscreen Ka keeps pushing. Maybe it's a better legacy than chasing royal scents. The thought fades as you return to the quarry, the stone waiting, the overseer's gaze sharp. You're not here for Khufu's eyes but for the work, for the pride that grows with each block. A question lingers, one that scholars still chase. Historians debate whether Khufu's visits inspired devotion or resentment. Did his presence rally workers like you, or deepen the divide between god-king and laborer? The truth is lost like incense on the wind. You know only the ropes burn, the blocks wait, the village's warmth waiting at day's end. Devotion or duty, it keeps you here, pulling under the sun, part of something eternal. The afternoon stretches, the quarry alive with sledges and chants. You pick up your chisel. The stone before you rough but familiar. The pyramid looms, its casing stones gleaming, a testament to your shared effort. You're tired, but there's a quiet fire in you. A sense that your work matters, even if the pharaoh never sees it. The village waits, with its fires and stories, but for now, the stone is your world, the pyramid your purpose, one strike at a time. Part 12. The dawn air over Giza is heavy, thick with the promise of change. You wake on your reed mat, the village stirring with a different rhythm today, one shaped by the Nile's pulse. The flood season approaches, the river swelling, its waters creeping higher, ready to blanket the fields in silt. Your kilt clings to your skin as you rise, the air damp, scented with mud and the faint green of reeds. The quarry's dust feels far away, replaced by the hum of a season that shifts your work, your life, your world. So, settle into this morning's quiet. Let the desert's murmur guide you, and walk with me through the seasons that shape the pyramid's rise. You step outside, sandals sinking slightly into the softening earth. The village buzzes with a new energy. Workers gather not for the quarry but for tasks tied to the flood. The Nile's cycle rules everything here, a god in its own right, dictating when you chisel and when you turn to other labors. The pyramid doesn't stop, but its pace shifts. Fewer blocks are cut, more are hauled, as the river's rise brings stone barges closer. You join a group heading to the harbor, a makeshift dock where boats unload granite from Aswan, their sails limp in the humid air. Your task today is to guide these stones, not carve them. A change that feels strange but welcome. The harbor smells of wet rope and fish, the Nile's surface glinting under the rising sun. You grip a rope, helping to steady a barge as workers unload blocks. Their chant slower, adapted to the river's sway. The granite is heavier than limestone, its surface cool and speckled, destined for the pyramid's inner chambers. You marvel at its journey, quarried far south, floated hundreds of miles, now resting in your hands. The work is hard, your muscles straining, but the river's breeze cools your skin, a small mercy. You glance at the pyramid, its silhouette sharp against the sky, and feel its pull, even in the season of shift. The historical anchor here is the Nile's flood cycle, critical to Giza's construction. As detailed in ancient records like the Palermo stone. From late summer to autumn, the river's inundation halted farming, freeing villagers to work on royal projects. Barges carried stone during high water, docking near Giza's plateau, a logistical feat that sustained the pyramid's growth. You're part of this cycle, your labor tied to the Nile's rhythm. Your hands moving from chisel to rope as the seasons demand. The pharaoh's planners harnessed the flood, turning nature's pulse into the pyramid's heartbeat. Now for a quirkier detail. Something to nudge a smile. During the flood, workers sometimes fish in the Nile's shallows, using nets woven from flax scraps. Ka swears he caught a perch big enough to feed the overseer's baboon for a week. You haven't tried it yet. The river's too busy for idle nets. I'd catch the baboon first, you mutter. And Ka laughs, splashing you with a handful of water. It's a small joy, this fishing, a way to steal moments from the flood's demands, to feel the Nile's life in your hands. You pull the rope. The barge steadying, and a worker jokes that the Nile's fish are smarter than the overseer's baboon, dodging nets with ease. You grin, adding, "That baboon drowned trying." Another laughs, claiming he saw the beast slip into the harbor last week, flailing until a scribe fished it out. The humor is soft, a ripple in the morning's work, tying you to the others. You think of Ka's falcon carving, sent to his son, and the healer's ankh, tokens of care that feel sharper now, with home so far and the Nile so close. The barge unloads, and you help roll a granite block onto a sledge, the wood creaking under its weight. The river's edge is alive with workers, their voices blending with the water's lap. You think of that crocodile dung sunscreen Ka keeps pushing. Maybe it'd keep the Nile's bugs at bay. The thought fades as you focus, the sledge moving, the block inching toward the pyramid. The flood changes everything, but the pyramid endures, its stone's a constant in this shifting world. You're part of that constancy, your hands bridging seasons, rivers, and dreams. A question lingers, one that scholars still ponder. Historians debate whether the flood season empowered workers like you, offering varied tasks, or strained you further, piling river work atop quarry labor. The truth is murky, like the Nile's silt. You know only the rope's burn, the block's weight, the river's cool breath. Freedom or burden, it keeps you here, pulling under the sun. Part of something eternal. The morning stretches, the harbor bustling with barges and sledges. You finish guiding the block, signaling the hauling crew, and wipe sweat from your brow. The pyramid looms, its casing stones gleaming, a testament to your shared effort across seasons. You're tired, but there's a quiet fire in you. A sense that your work weaves the Nile's rhythm into eternity. The village waits, with its fires and stories, but for now, the river is your world, the pyramid your purpose, one block at a time. Part 13. The sun climbs high over Giza, its heat tempered by the flood season's lingering humidity. You stand on the pyramid's ramp. The Nile's breath still clinging to your skin from yesterday's work at the harbor. The air smells of wet sand and distant reeds, a contrast to the quarry's dry dust. Your hands, toughened by months of chiseling, now hold a finer tool, a leveling rod, used to check the stone's alignment. You've earned this task, a step beyond cutting blocks, and it fills you with a quiet pride. So settle into this moment, let the desert's rhythm soothe you, and walk with me through the craft that shapes your days and the monument's eternity. You kneel beside a limestone block. Its surface smooth but not yet perfect. The ramp bustles around you, workers haul sledges, their chants low and steady, while masons tap chisels with precision. Your job is to ensure this block sits true, its edges flush with its neighbors, a small but crucial act in the pyramid's ascent. You run the rod along the stone, feeling for imperfections, your eyes squinting against the glare of polished limestone. The work is meticulous, slower than quarrying, and you relish it. Each adjustment, each careful tap, feels like a conversation with the stone, a craft you're only beginning to master. The pyramid rises, its casing stones gleaming like a beacon. You've moved from the quarry's chaos to this higher task, a sign of trust from the overseer. Not everyone gets here. Some spend years hauling or cutting, their hands never touching the pyramid's face. You're no mason yet, but you're learning, your rod a bridge to a skill that feels almost sacred. The block aligns, its surface level, and you step back, a flicker of satisfaction warming your chest. The pyramid is no longer just a task, it's a creation, and you're part of its soul. The historical anchor here is the specialization of labor at Giza, evident in tools and inscriptions found at the site. While many workers performed heavy tasks like hauling, others developed skills, masonry, surveying, even engineering, critical to the pyramid's precision. The Great Pyramid's blocks, some fitted to within millimeters, reflect this expertise. A testament to a workforce that wasn't just muscle but mind. You're part of this hierarchy, your leveling rod a mark of progress, your pride a quiet echo of the craftsmen who'll finish Khufu's tomb. Now for a quirkier detail, something to nudge a smile. The masons have a habit of marking, lucky, blocks with faint scratches, tiny ankhs or eyes, hidden where scribes won't see. Ka showed you one, claiming it ensures the block's place in eternity. You haven't scratched your own yet, your rod's work feels mark enough. My luck's in not dropping this, you mutter, tapping the rod. Ka grins, tossing a pebble your way, and you dodge, smirking. It's a small ritual, these marks, a way to claim a piece of the pyramid, even if no one knows. You adjust another block. The rod's steady in your hands. A worker nearby jokes that the overseer's baboon could level stones better than the new recruits. You chuckle, adding, "It'd probably chew the rod first." Another laughs, claiming he saw the baboon steal a mason's mallet, scampering off like it owned the ramp. The humor is soft, a breath in the heat, tying you to the others. You think of Ka's falcon carving, sent to his son, and the Nile's fish from the flood season, small things that ground you, even here, high on the pyramid's flank. The ramp's rhythm pulls you back, but your mind drifts to the village. To firelit stories and the healer's ink. That crocodile dung sunscreen keeps pushing. Maybe it'd help with the ramp's glare, though you'd rather not smell like the Nile's depths. The thought fades as you focus, the rod revealing a slight tilt in the block. You signal a mason, who taps it true, and you check again, satisfied. This craft, this care, is yours now. A piece of the pyramid's perfection you can claim. A question lingers, one that scholars still chase. Historians debate whether specialized roles like yours were a path to status or a trap. Did they offer pride and purpose, or just more work under the overseer's eye? The truth is buried. Like the ramp's foundations. You know only the rod's weight, the stone's response, the quiet swell of pride in your chest. Status or burden, it keeps you here, leveling under the sun. Part of something eternal. The afternoon stretches, the ramp alive with sledges and taps. You finish checking the block, signaling its readiness, and wipe sweat from your brow. The pyramid looms. Its casing stone's a dazzling white, a testament to your shared craft. You're tired, but there's a fire in you, a sense that your work shapes not just stone but time itself. The village waits, with its fires and bonds, but for now, the ramp is your world, the pyramid your purpose, one level stone at a time. Part 14. The twilight settles over Giza, the sky a deep indigo, pricked with stars that seem to pulse with the day's fading heat. You stand on the pyramid's ramp, your leveling rod resting against your shoulder. The air cool and scented with dust and distant Nile water. The flood season has receded, leaving the quarry's rhythm to reclaim you, but tonight you linger, gazing at the pyramid's near-finished form. Its casing stones gleam under the moon, whispering of eternity, of the pharaoh's immortality. Your role feels both small and vast, a paradox that hums in your chest. So, sink into this quiet night, let the desert's breath hold you, and walk with me through the weight of purpose and the shadow of forever. You shift your weight. The ramp's packed earth firm beneath your sandals. The pyramid towers above, its peak still incomplete but close, a stairway to the gods almost ready for Khufu's soul. You've spent months, years, shaping its stones, leveling its blocks, pulling its sledges. Each task, from quarry cuts to ramp precision, has woven you into its story. But tonight you don't work, you reflect. Your thoughts drifting to the pyramid's deeper meaning. It's not just a tomb but a machine of immortality, designed to carry the pharaoh to the afterlife, to defy death itself. You wonder what it means for you, a worker whose name will never grace its stones. The village hums faintly below, its fire pits glowing like scattered embers. You can almost smell the bread baking. Hear Ka's low laughter over a shared jug. But here, high on the ramp, the world feels distant, the pyramid's silence louder than any chant. You run your hand along a casing stone, its surface smooth, polished to mirror the stars. This is why you're here, not for gold or glory, but to build something that outlasts you, your family, even the Nile's endless flow. The thought is heavy. Yet it lifts you, a quiet pride in being part of this eternal act. The historical anchor here is the pyramid's religious purpose, rooted in Egypt's belief in the afterlife. As seen in texts like the pyramid texts carved in later tombs, the Great Pyramid was a cosmic engine, its shape in alignment with the stars guiding the pharaoh's soul to Osiris. Every block you've leveled, every rope you've pulled, serves this divine plan, linking your labor to the gods. You're not just building a monument, you're crafting a bridge between earth and eternity. A truth that humbles you as you stand under the moon's pale light. Now for a quirkier detail, something to nudge a smile. Workers sometimes whisper that the pyramid's shadow moves at night, tracing sacred shapes on the sand. Ka swears he saw it form a falcon, Horus himself, during a full moon. You've never seen it, and you're skeptical. Shadows are just shadows. Too much beer, you mutter, recalling Ka's grin as he told the tale. Still, you glance at the pyramid's shadow now, stretching long across the plateau, and half wonder if there's truth in his story. It's a small fancy, this shadow play, a way to find magic in the stones you know so well. You sit on the ramp, the stone cool against your back. A worker passing below jokes that the pyramid's so tall, the overseer's baboon might climb it and declare itself pharaoh. You chuckle, adding, "It'd probably steal the capstone first." Another voice laughs, claiming he saw the baboon nap on a sledge, snoring louder than a quarry crew. The humor is soft, a flicker in the night, tying you to the village even here. High above its fires, you think of Ka's falcon carving, the healer's ankh, the Nile's fish, small threads that weave your life to this place, to the pyramid's vast purpose. Your mind drifts to the ritual's linen knot, the healer's honey paste, the stories by firelight. That crocodile dung sunscreen Ka keeps pushing, maybe you'll try it. If only to laugh with him under the sun. The thought fades as you gaze at the pyramid, its form almost complete, a monument that feels both yours and utterly beyond you. You're a speck in its story. Yet your hands have shaped its truth, your pride a quiet echo in its stones. The stars wheel above, aligned with the pyramid's angles, and you feel a shiver, not of cold, but of connection to something infinite. A question lingers, one that scholars still chase. Historians debate whether workers like you understood the pyramid's cosmic role. Did you grasp its sacred geometry, or was it just another job? The truth is lost, like dust on the wind. You know only the stone's weight, the rod's balance, the star's silent watch. Sacred or mundane, it keeps you here, reflecting under the moon, part of something eternal. The night deepens. The ramp empty now. You stand stretching, your body heavy but your mind light. The pyramid looms, its silhouette a promise of forever, a testament to your shared labor. You're tired. But there's a fire in you, a sense that your work whispers through time, even if your name does not. The village waits, with its fires and bonds, but for now, the ramp is your world. The pyramid your purpose, one quiet moment at a time. Part 15. The dawn breaks softly over Giza, a gentle glow spreading across the plateau, bathing the near-finished pyramid in hues of gold and rose. You stand at its base, your leveling rod long since set aside, your hands empty but heavy with the memory of countless stones. The air is crisp, scented with dust and the faint green of the Nile. Now calm after the flood season's retreat. The village hums faintly behind you, its fires cold, its workers stirring for a day unlike any other. The pyramid is nearly complete. A monument to eternity that bears the marks of your labor. So, settle into this quiet morning, let the desert's whisper enfold you. And walk with me one last time through the legacy you've woven into stone. You step forward, your sandals scuffing the packed earth, and gaze up at the pyramid. Its casing stones shine, polished to a mirror's sheen, each one fitted with a precision you helped perfect. The capstone, a golden slab rumored to be gilded, waits to be placed, a final act you may not witness. Your work here is done, or nearly so. Soon, you'll return to your village by the Nile, to your mother's bread, your brother's laughter. But today you linger, feeling the pyramid's weight, not just its stones, but its meaning. It's a tomb, a stairway, a god-king's dream, and somehow, it's yours, too, a piece of your life carved into its angles. The plateau is quieter now, the ramp's dismantled, the sledge is stilled. Workers like Ka move among the final tasks, polishing, clearing debris. But the frenzy of construction has softened into something reverent. You run your hand along the casing stone, its surface cool and smooth, and think of the moments that built it. The quarry's dust, the ramp's chants, the firelit stories. You think of Sen's healed arm, the ritual's linen knot, the pharaoh's distant shadow. Each memory is a thread in the pyramid's story. And you're woven into everyone, your pride a quiet pulse that matches the Nile's flow. The historical anchor here is the completion of the Great Pyramid, a feat dated to around 2580 BCE. As inferred from archaeological evidence and later Egyptian chronicles. It took roughly 2 decades, thousands of workers, and millions of stones. each placed with a precision that still baffles modern minds. You were part of this, one of countless hands that lifted Khufu's vision to the stars. The pyramid's completion wasn't just a construction milestone but a cultural triumph, a symbol of Egypt's unity and ambition. Your role, small as it seems, helped forge that legacy. A truth that settles in your chest like a warm ember. Now for a quirkier detail, something to nudge a final smile. The workers have a tradition of leaving tiny offerings, bits of flint, broken chisels, even bread crusts, at the pyramid's base, a farewell to the stones they shaped. Ka left a pebble carved with a reed, swearing it thanks the gods for his survival. You haven't added yours yet, your hands feel empty, but your work is offering enough. My chisel's done enough talking. You mutter, and Ka laughs, tossing you a pebble as if it's a treasure. It's a small act, these offerings, a way to say goodbye, to leave a piece of yourself in Giza's dust. You turn, catching sight of Ka joking with a worker about the overseer's baboon, which apparently tried to climb a casing stone yesterday, only to slide down in a huff. You grin, adding, "It's probably planning to steal the capstone." Another laughs, claiming he saw the baboon nap on a scribe's papyrus, smudging half the day's counts. The humor is soft, a last ripple in the morning's calm, tying you to the village one final time. You think of Ka's falcon carving, the healer's ankh, the Nile's fish, small things that carried you through, like the pyramid itself, now standing tall. Your mind drifts to that crocodile dung sunscreen Ka kept pushing. You never tried it, but maybe you'll tell your brother about it. Watch him grimace and laugh. The thought fades as you look at the pyramid, its form complete, a mountain of human will. You're a speck in its story, yet your hands shaped its truth, your pride a quiet echo in its stones. The stars fade above, their alignment with the pyramid's angles a secret you'll never fully know. But you feel it, a connection to something vast, something that will stand when your name is dust. A question lingers, one that scholars still chase. Historians debate whether workers like you felt fulfilled or exploited. Did the pyramid's completion bring pride or relief to be free of its demands? The truth is lost, like the ramp's foundations. You know only the stone's weight, the village's warmth, the quiet swell of your heart. Pride or relief, it's yours. Standing here, part of something eternal. The morning brightens, the pyramid glowing under the sun. You turn toward the village, its alleys calling you back for one last fire, one last jug. The pyramid stands, a silent witness to your labor, your life. You're tired, but there's a fire in you, a sense that your work will whisper through time, reaching your family, your village, the world beyond. You step away, the desert stretching wide, the Nile a distant shimmer, and carry the pyramid with you, one quiet memory at a time. The stars twinkle softly over Giza, their light a quiet echo of the pyramid's gleaming stones. You stand at the village's edge, the desert stretching wide, the Nile's hum a distant lullaby. Your hands, once raw from chisels and ropes, rest now, carrying the memory of every block you shaped, every story you shared by firelight. The pyramid looms behind you, complete, a testament to sweat, pride, and a dream larger than any one life. It's not just Khufu's tomb, it's yours, too, woven with Ka's laughter, the healer's care, the baboon's mischief. You smile, the air cool against your skin, the world still for this fleeting moment. You think of home, of your mother's bread, your brother's grin, waiting beyond the river's bends. The pyramid will stand for them, for ages unborn, whispering of your labor under the sun. You're no pharaoh, no scribe, but your hands have left a mark that time cannot erase. The village fires flicker, their warmth a promise of rest, of bonds that held you through dust and stone. You take a slow breath, the scent of baked earth grounding you, and feel a gentle peace settle in your chest. Now you can close your eyes and let the currents of time take you away. Drift past the pyramid's shadow, over the Nile's silver waves, through the centuries that will marvel at your work. You've built more than stone, you've built eternity, a legacy soft as starlight, strong as limestone. The desert whispers goodnight, and you step forward, carried by the quiet certainty that your story, small but true, lives on in the pyramid's heart.